Have you ever wondered where the greatest villains come from? The brightest and most wicked minds behind the darkest plots humanity has ever witnessed. The answer may be rooted in the oldest legends, myths, and folklore that have shaped our understanding of good and evil since the dawn of time. And few characters encapsulate the archetype of the villain as perfectly as Morgana Le Fay. Emerging from the mists of Arthurian past, this nefarious sorceress wove a web of betrayal and ambition that shook the very foundations of Camelot. Her motivations: nothing less than world conquest, placing her son Mordred on the throne as the supreme ruler. A plan as audacious as it is dark, orchestrated by a mind as brilliant as it is twisted. But like every great story, the details matter. And the details behind Morgana's reign of terror are as rich in nuance as they are dark in execution. So, settle in as we delve into the depths of this labyrinth of intrigue, betrayal, and black magic that define the legacy of one of the greatest villains of all time. The rise of a dark sorceress. In the mists of Arthurian times, when Excalibur still gleamed with the glory of a new reign, the seeds of discord had already been planted. For Morgana Le Fay, the half-sister of the legendary King Arthur, had already plotted her downfall since the early days of Camelot. Endowed with a natural gift for mystical arts, Morgana quickly became a formidable sorceress, mastering arcane secrets that few dared to unravel. But her heart was stained by bitterness and resentment, fueled by a fierce ambition to see her son Mordred ascend to the throne. And so, while Arthur ruled with justice and compassion, Morgana wove her webs of treachery in the shadows. By seducing one of Arthur's most loyal knights, Sir Jason Blood, she planted seeds of doubt in his heart, exploiting his love for her to undermine loyalty to his king. The fall of Camelot. The invasion came suddenly and ruthlessly. Leading an army of monsters from the darkest depths, Morgana marched upon Camelot, her dark magic sculpting grotesque creatures to do her bidding. And although Arthur's forces resisted bravely, Jason Blood's betrayal opened the gates to ruin. With a poisoned kiss, Morgana betrayed her lover blinded by love, leaving him on the brink of death as her army advanced relentlessly. And on a fateful day, Camelot fell, its glory stained by the blood of the brave who defended it. But Morgana's victory was far from complete. For the legendary wizard Merlin, foreseeing the threat she posed, had hidden an artifact of unparalleled power, the Philosopher's Stone, capable of granting Mordred the reign his mother so desired. The endless hunt. And so began an epic hunt that spanned centuries, as Morgana and Mordred pursued the Philosopher's Stone across the world, always one step behind their sworn enemy, the demon Etrigan, bound to Jason Blood himself by a curse cast by Merlin. In a macabre dance of cat and mouse, Morgana created magical devices to detect Etrigan's proximity, allowing her and her son to flee whenever the demon drew near. But their search was relentless, for without the Philosopher's Stone, Mordred's reign would remain a distant dream. And so, as the centuries dragged on, Morgana drained the youth of countless victims to preserve her beauty, transforming into a refined and seductive form to mask her true dark nature. Her confrontation with heroes like the Shining Knight only strengthened her relentless determination. The final battle in Gotham. Finally, after an endless pursuit, Morgana and Mordred tracked the Philosopher's Stone to Gotham City, in the hands of a humble librarian. But when they reached Castle Brannock, the supposed hiding place of the stone, they found only an empty chest. The Philosopher's Stone had been stolen. Desperate, Morgana resorted to ever darker tactics, subjugating even the mind of the powerful Martian John Johns in her relentless quest. And when the Justice League intervened, an epic battle unfolded through the streets of Gotham, with Morgana displaying the full extent of her awe-inspiring powers. But in the end, even as the Philosopher's Stone was within her reach, John Johns' betrayal, inspired by a vision of Morgana's dark past, sealed her fate. With a final defiant gesture, he crushed the legendary artifact before the horrified eyes of Morgana and Mordred, denying them the longed-for victory. Mordred's reign and Morgana's fate. Yet defeat did not stop Morgana and Mordred for long. Discovering an even more powerful amulet, the Amulet of First Magic, they plotted a new audacious plan. This time, Mordred betrayed his own mother, banishing her and all adults to another dimension while seizing control of the world. But even in this dark hour, Morgana's cunning shone through. Joining forces with the Justice League, she orchestrated an elaborate counterspell, turning the heroes into children to defeat her treacherous son. And although Mordred was defeated, the price for Morgana was high. Her spell of eternal youth was broken, leaving her with an immortal life but aging inexorably. And so, as the heroes celebrated their victory, Morgana returned to a lonely castle, condemned to care for her now aged son for eternity, a grim reminder that even the most ambitious plans can lead to unimaginable consequences. So, ask yourself, what drives such a brilliant mind to tread such a dark path? And more importantly, what happens when even the most feared villains are forced to face the consequences of their actions? For in the end, even the most powerful of sorceresses is not immune to the whims of fate.